Welcome to the last part of this video series for entrepreneurs and the business owners who are scaling right now or in the process of scaling their business, obviously. So far, we have seen who is the best role model for you in the other videos, how to apply what they do to what your current life is right now, how can you pinpoint the main thing they have at their disposal that you don't have, and how to use unconscious identification to integrate that skill into yourself and develop your level of abilities and progress faster. This last video is going to target the main last problem you will have if you didn't have it already. It is the problem of sustaining the motivation over the long term, because NLP modeling is used to develop one skill set, one main skill in your life right now, and you can work on different skills. I would advise to only put all your energy on one central thing right now in your life, and once it is completely handled, then you can go into the other phase, other parts of your life if you want. First of all, focus on one thing, and obviously it is going to be about practicing that skill. Any person who has been reaching wealth has been doing it by becoming excellent at one specific thing. Even when you hear those stories of entrepreneurs doing a million different things, being successful in many different businesses, first of all, it is most likely BS, except for 2 or 3 maybe abnormal figures in the world. Most entrepreneurs are only really good at one specific thing, maybe 2 at most, and the rest they may be slightly average or just beginner, but they will make it look like they are excellent at everything. Social media images, that's normal, it's just what people are going after these days. So when you want to reach wealth and success, there is just one main skill you need to focus on, the main skill I have been asking you to really think about during this whole free course, the one thing you want to get better at, and the one thing you have a role model in mind to develop your skill set with. Now, how to keep practicing that on the long term and keep the same level of motivation forever? Or should I say, how to automate the process of practicing, because there are going to be moments where you won't have the motivation anyway. Motivation curves are always going like this. They are always going up and down, and there are moments where you are going to be unmotivated anyway, and you won't really have this incredible creative juice and this relentless untamed motivation to do more every day. You won't have that all the time. At some point it's going to go down, you will just not want to do it anymore, and during those periods of time, even if I'm suggesting a few vacations sometimes and just don't do anything, let's say you need to keep practicing forever, or at least you need to keep a minimum amount of practice, or just to maintain maybe your income. If your income level is just allowing you to live, at least you need to maintain that at the very least, and then going higher. When you want to maintain your level of practice, even as an athlete in a sport, you need to go through those phases of non-motivation. And the way to go through that is to elaborate an automated procedure so that you can go at your peak or close to your peak performance every time. And it's quite simple, actually. You don't need everything from what a role model does to reach the kind of success you are after. You only need a few very important things to make you go to the immediate next step in your life right now. The idea of this process is to simply make an image on the left of you in your mind right now. Make an image on the left of you when you are not motivated, when you don't want to do anything, when you procrastinate, when you don't have any ideas, you're just in front of your laptop turning around in circles forever and not doing anything very interesting or important. And once you have that image in your mind of you on the left doing pretty much nothing very interesting or important, then you are going to make an image on the right of you when you were at your peak. When you have been practicing that skill, the thing you want to develop, the main skill that is going to make you get to the wealth level you are after, whether it is copywriting, making videos, creating content, advertising, whatever it is, make an image of yourself on the right that is showing you while you are at that ultimate level of peak state, that ultimate peak level where you are at the level of productivity you are looking for. And this peak state, the one where you are at your maximum level of productivity, can you notice what it is made of? In terms of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic principles, what can you see from your behavior? Are you standing in a different way Is your eye contact different? Is your head standing in a different shape? What is different from a visual perspective than what is different in an auditory perspective? Do you say to yourself something specific? Do you listen to some songs that really motivate you, really push you to do more? Do you listen to some motivational speech? Do you talk to somebody in a specific tone of voice when you are at that level of productivity? What is the thing you are doing that gets you to that level? Once you have a good grasp of what it feels like to be at that level of productivity and intensity, then you can simply think about from the left to the right, from the moment where you are unmotivated and procrastinating to the moment where you are at your peak. If you had to just give three easy steps that can make you go from A to B, what would they be? If you had to turn this process of going from unmotivated to peak state, what is the main change you need to do when you are giving a procedure? If you had to instruct a child on how to get from here to there, what would you tell them? And a child does not understand complex procedure and complex stuff, so what is the main internal change you can do? Is it about drawing something? Is it about drinking coffee? Is it about going out for a walk? Is it about changing the activities you are doing, reducing the time frame during which you are working? What are the main changes you are doing that will allow you to get from here to there? And with this process, once you have turned that thing into a procedure, a three-step procedure, which is also what we might call the Paretto principle, the 80-20, the 20% of actions that are going to bring 80% of the results. What is that for you when you are at your peak? What are the 20% of changes or things to say to yourself or actions to take so that you can be at your peak with a minimum of effort? When you are in an unmotivated phase of life, you won't have this maximum level of energy to always push through boundaries and barriers. At some point you won't have that. You will find it again later, but there are going to be phases of life where you just don't have it. So what is the minimum amount of input, the minimum amount of changes, mental and physical, that you can do when you are in those moments that can make you go through the peak state or through the maximum level of productivity you have been able to reach in the past? Which is obviously presupposing that you have reached a certain level of productivity and success already. So what we want to do here at the end of the modeling process, even if it is ongoing, but at least at the end of this video series, what we want to do is to elaborate a process to automate your practice so that you don't have to always reinvent the wheel and always figure out again, oh, but what should I do today? Should I focus on this? Should I focus on that? As an entrepreneur, you need to have some defined procedure to not have to always overthink it again and again and again. So what is the main 3-step or 4 steps or 2 steps or 5 steps procedure you can use so that whenever you are like not really in shape or not really energized, what can you do? What is the process you can use to get back into that state? Is it about changing the activities? Is it about focusing on another part of your business? Is it about starting by your day by another task, maybe? I used to do that at some point. I was so bored and really didn't have motivation anymore that I was always starting my day by doing one thing that was interesting to me. I was writing down, answering a sentence prompt. The one thing right now that can allow me to feel motivated and energized is, and I would answer with whatever would come spontaneously to mind during the beginning of the day. And I would write down, and for example, it would be watching a part of this seminar or listening to that podcast or just calling this person. And I would start by that. And it would spark and fire the motivation again, or at least just enough to do the tasks I had to do during the day. But just forcing through boredom, it's not really a good compromise over the long term because it's just going to drive you into burnout. So better start with something you are enjoying, you're passionate about, and then some other tasks that may be more boring, do them afterward, once you're already in a good state. Don't start by something you hate because you will not strive on the long term if you do that. As a reminder, you can download the free 7 days challenge to develop this hypnotic success identity through some self-hypnosis process, incorporating NLP modeling and many other processes in the description down below. And if you're an entrepreneur scaling your business right now, you can also book a call with me, only for people who are serious, please, not people who are going to waste my time. The ones who are serious about developing their business, you can book a call with me and we will see what we can do for you.